Yeah, I think that our offense and the system in general is really good at getting my position set up for that. Um, so I think it's I'm just a product of the system that coach and the team has built, and I'm able to be surrounded by good guys that can get those assists for me. They were super. They chase a lot on their coverages. So you can, if you're patient on passes, you'll be able to see it. If you get out in transition to play off 2 feet, things will come to you, and that's what happened tonight. So it's just to fight. I mean, we practice all day, practice mentality. And you just have to keep going. You just have to keep fighting no matter what happens. And we always, it's not really a joke because Coach Hovde's serious about it, but we always say we want to play all night, play until till whenever. Not the clock doesn't mean anything. So we just want to keep going. And we had that mentality. And you just keep playing. Things usually work out. Yeah, it's super frustrating in the moment, but we always try to have a next play mentality. It was hard to have a next play mentality after missing two more, but I'll just practice them tomorrow again before, make sure I'm all good. But after hitting a couple more in the later, after I missed the first four, settle myself in a little bit. Yeah, we have an amazing staff from top to bottom, from Coach Hovde to the trainers to our athletic trainers, and everybody gets your body right, gets everything right, gets your mind right. And to be honest with you, being able to focus on one sport has been a lot for me. I played football in high school, and I was super focused on that as well. So I think being able to specialize has helped me a lot in growing. I think just understanding how to lead. I'd consider myself a pretty good leader, but I'm trying to obviously grow in every way I can. These guys, Kenny, Blair, even Avery and Zeno, who haven't been able to play this year, these guys lead, and it's just an amazing thing to be able to watch that. No matter what your circumstances, you have to be a leader. You have to lead. You have to, sacrifice, and that's been a lesson I've learned from them. I try to enjoy it. I know, I'm not gonna play basketball until I'm 100, and I love it. It's like, it brings me so much joy in life, and I just try to remember that this is what is, the most fun thing that I can do. And times get stressful. For example, I missed 4 free throws. I try to remind myself that you're playing a game, and you're doing it at a high level, and you're having fun doing it, and that always locks me back in.
I thought we got a little better shots in the second half than the first, but not by much. I thought in the first half we missed some good ones and some that they did a good job contesting, but definitely some cleaner looks in the second half for sure. And just proud of our guys. They did a really good job taking advantage of what the defense was giving them and then knocking down some threes, which kind of opened up the game. Yeah, I think for us, it was such a big part of the scout was Landon Lewis, who's their leading scorer, and he's a inside scorer, really good low post player. They run great stuff to get him the ball, and we were really trying to be sticky defensively and kind of pack it in a little bit. And sometimes when you do that, you can force even more turnovers than when you're really out there pressuring. So I thought we did a good job of kind of mucking it up in the paint and making it difficult for them. And some of them were probably a little bit fluky as well, but overall, good job by our guys on that. Well, part of it was we made threes. No, most of the time, threes are assisted. It's rare that you make a three that's not assisted. But especially the second half, I thought we did a good job attacking them, and they're a really, really good defensive team. They're extremely well coached. They're physical. They're athletic. They have really physical inside players, and they have a really good scheme. So again, it was a challenge for us, and I think it took us a little while to kind of get used to the physicality and speed. But once we did, I think we settled in pretty nicely and were able to get some good looks. For sure, we have, and I think that's been a huge strength of our team is different guys can step up. You mentioned Connor and Miles, but also tonight Leland Coleman is playing more, Richard and Wecky. So those guys can step in, and they're good players. They can play a role, and credit to them for stepping in, especially late in the season. It's not an easy thing to do, to come in and be confident and give good minutes, and those guys did that. So proud of them, and I think it speaks to kind of our program and what it's about when you see different guys stepping up like that. I think our physicality, I would say that's the biggest thing. I've talked to these guys, especially the last couple of weeks, about being proud of the identity that we've established of, most nights being the more physical team, being a great rebounding team. Those are not, those things are not easy to do. They take effort. They take a will to do it every day, not just on game day, but in practice. And I think that's what this team is about. They practice really hard. They love to compete. They're not afraid to be physical and hit each other in practice. And, because of that, I think we have some pretty good habits, with our physicality. And, that's what I'm kind of most proud of right now. Well, I mean, I think a lot goes into that. I think number one, just culturally, the guys that have really impacted our team this year, they have great attitudes. They work really hard. They have a lot of pride in being at Columbia. I think that's really important to me. And then, as I mentioned, just from a basketball standpoint, it's two things. I think it's the toughness and physicality, right? If we're trying to, pour into that, like that needs to be our identity. I think we've done a good job of that overall this year. Still have two, incredible opportunities left to continue to do that. And then the second part is just the selflessness, right? And that's sharing the ball. That's being excited for your teammate when, he scores, things like that. That's what I want our identity to be. And it takes a group of guys that are willing to put the team first, which I think we've really done this year. When we've been at our best, we've really played as a team, both offense. There were a couple things that we didn't execute on the scout, where they were able to get us, where things that we had gone over. So we just talked about those. But, for the most part, I thought we defended pretty well in the first half. Our defensive rebounding was decent in the first half. So I felt pretty good. And, I felt like we had some turnovers, some of them a little bit fluky. So it was more kind of stay the course and, continue to try to execute the things that we worked on all week, and good things are going to happen. I'm really, really thankful for them. Obviously, Avery and Zeno have been hurt, which is out of their control. So that's difficult, but, those guys have done a good job as far as, finding ways to help and pour in, even though not being able to play. Blair and Kenny have meant just the world to me, to be honest. Just for me, as in my first year here, to inherit two guys that have the characteristics that we as a program really care about. We talk about attitude, work ethic, and then pride in the program. Both those guys check all those boxes. And that's been a huge luxury for me. And it's, again, we talk about the identity, the culture of the program and establishing it. There's been no one more important, myself included, no one more important than those two guys doing it every day. So very appreciative of them.